everyone, it's Lisette, and I am actually packing up the bathrooms. That's what I'm doing. I did leave some essentials out that we need because, like I said, we don't know exactly the date we're leaving yet. But I had decided to go through everything. I have a mess on my couch that you can't see. Let me bring the camera down. There it goes. So I have a mess on here that you can't really see, but I'm going through all my stuff and I'm donating the things. We're both, my husband and I, just not just me, but we're both going on. Elijah, look at him. Are you saying hi to all my friends and all your friends? Come on, come down so they can see. Go ahead. Something else. He's something else. But yeah, so I'm going through these things and I thought, why not pack and chat? Pack and chat, right? That would be a lot of fun, to pack things and to chat. I will tell you, I've had to pray and I ask God to help me with this because I am not one that likes to pack. It is not something that I enjoy doing whatsoever. Okay, let me see. There we go. Sorry about that. It's not something that I enjoy doing. I don't enjoy packing. Now, you can ask my husband. I enjoy organizing. Packing is not my favorite thing. Now, my husband, he is a great packer. Literally, he can pack really well. When we got married, I was living in Florida. And I was so stressed out. Now, I only had my own apartment. Elijah, come out. Thank you. I had my own place in Florida. So when Keith and I were getting married, I had to pack up my apartment. And I have friends that came over. I called some of my friends. I said, look, I have all this food. Do you want it? I have this, I have furniture, and friends came over. That was the great thing about having friends. They came over and they picked up some of the stuff I had in my apartment in Florida, and it made it so much easier for me because they just took it. But I was so stressed from having to pack. My husband finally, at the time he was my fiance, he said, why don't you go to your parents and stay with your parents and I will pack up your place. And he finished packing it up for me. A lot of the stuff was done already and donated, but he finished the last bits. He's just good at it. How about your husband? He just knows how to organize everything and make it fit. He will take a box and take everything out and just put everything back in neatly. He's just good at that. Not that I can't do it. I mean, I'm doing fine, but he's done it so much. His dad was an engineer and his dad moved around a lot. So he's lived in so many different places that he knows how to pack. He knows how to do it. He was also military and he traveled a lot. So he's used to it. Me, on the other hand, I wish I could just hire some movers to come and pack up our stuff. But you know what? We can't afford that. It's way too expensive. So we just do it ourselves. And we know where everything's at. And guess what? We won't have to worry about anything breaking. If we break it, it's ours. We broke it. And we don't have to worry about a company breaking out things. Not that they all do that. There's some great moving companies out there. But I've heard some stories about moving companies. But however, yeah. So I have been working all morning on the bathrooms here. I got the U-Haul boxes and taping this up to pack things because I have these and I'm going to pack those. Like, there's some things I already let go. I donated, but there's some things that I actually am going to keep because I don't want to have to purchase them again. So I'm just going to, what I do is I tape these handles down and it keeps them secure. And that's what I did with some of my other stuff, like my bottles and stuff, liquid bottles, like the hydrogen peroxide alcohol. I just taped the caps down with this tape. This is really good heavy duty tape. And it's just better. It keeps stuff from spilling out. I just like doing that better. I got some of this Wizard that I'm going to box. Because, sometimes it's easy. Now, these little things, I'm going to go on ahead and donate. We have so many of these when we've traveled to see my parents oh, we've gone to a convention or conference. We have so many of these. I was looking through the stuff and I'm like, look at that. We just need to donate some of this. Now, this is our first aid. I know I should get a box. I know it's cheesy, but that's my first aid kit right there, so I'm leaving that out. I found so many soaps. This is the Dove for Men. So many of these, but I'm taking them all with us because that's stuff you always need, regardless. Zest, you always need soap. It's best to have it. Got me a box of baking soda. It's best to have this stuff and not... What are these? These are non-woven gauze. Take these with us too. I'll put some in the emergency kit. I'll put 2 in there. Some more wizard. You'd be surprised what you find. This I'm gonna throw out. That's gonna go out. I don't need those. Donation. That's curtain rings for the shower curtains. So, you know, I've just learned through all this stuff that I'm going through to look at what I have first before I'm easy to go shopping and buy stuff. I have a lot of the hand soaps, which is good, and I have hand sanitizer, so those are going to go with me. I don't have to buy any of that, nor do I want to buy any of it. I want to make sure that we take enough stuff from here to put in the parsonage, and we don't have to buy anything when we're down there because, you know, I don't want to get into that. I mean, of course, we're going to have to go shopping and buy food and that kind of stuff, but we're taking our canned goods with us. Talking about canned goods, I was hearing, you know, sometimes we watch these channels where they talk about prepping, right? Oh, look what I found, some masks. Now these we save. Why? Because sometimes when I'm cleaning, I put these on because it keeps the fumes out. If you're cleaning your oven or something like that, it's good to have these masks, to have them handy. So these, we've had them for a long time. It's a whole box full, so I keep those. Let's not get into the mask thing. I did not like wearing those, but that's a whole other video. I'm not doing that now. But anyway, talking about canning, I was thinking about this. We watch so many prepping videos, and sometimes preppers, they get a hard time. They do. There goes more. All donations. People give them a hard time, right? When we don't prep, and then when things happen, then we wonder why we're going through what we're going through. And that's why I think it's important to prep. You know, before, a long time ago, I'll take that there. A long time ago, I would watch, this was years ago, I would watch some prepping channels. And I would be like, oh, come on, people. You know, like, there would be some preppers, like, they would have, like, these, I don't know if you want to call them dungeons, but they would, like, store food away and stuff. And I used to watch that, and I'd be like, oh, okay, you know. But you know what? I thank God that through these last few years, I've learned about prepping. I think it's so important to prep. I think it's very important because you never know if there's going to be a situation where you're going to need to make sure you have food for your family. And I think that people give preppers a hard time, but guess what? When there's an emergency, they're ready. And I think that's very, very important when there's an emergency to be ready. Even if it's some extra canned goods that you have, you know, that you have to feed your family. And like I said, I think yesterday on a video, that sometimes people want to have like all the, no, I'm not, look, let me just say this because I don't want to come off wrong, okay? There are people that work hard and they can afford to buy certain things. They work hard. They have saved their money. They can afford it. That is good. I don't knock those people and say, well, look at them. Who do they think they are? Nope. If they work for it, they put their money away. They've worked hard for it. They can save their money. They can buy something extra they need. That's good because it's not my money, it's their money. But I'm talking about sometimes we complain about what we don't have, but yet we buy things without prepping. We buy a bunch of stuff we don't need. And then when it comes to not having groceries, we wonder why, because people don't prep. I think it's so important to can. I think it's very, very important to can. To learn to can, even if you water can, even if you water bath, you can beans, you can tomato sauce, learning to can, I think it's important for every wife. Every husband too. But us women, we like to do that. My husband likes to can like cranberry sauce and stuff like that. He helps me. We make applesauce and different things. So all those canning things that we have, we're taking with us. Anything that we have canning, we're going to box them up really good. We're going to put blankets in between them. We're taking all our canning stuff with us. We're taking our ingredients, our flour, all that kind of stuff. We are going to clean out our cabinets, and we're cleaning out the pantry, and we're going to go through everything. We're going to donate a lot of that to a church here that has a food pantry. So we'll do that. But the canning goods, we want to take those with us. We want to be ready when we get there. We don't want to be, I don't know where we're going. That's the whole thing about the mission field. We're doing this by faith. By faith, because the truth is, I don't know where we're going to go. You'll know when we know. I'm telling you. Not exaggerating whatsoever. You're going to know when we know where we're going to be and where we're going. Because we don't know yet. All I can tell you is this. We have an idea. We have an idea. Just don't know. All we know is in the Northeast. Okay, I got to get a rag. Hold on. I'll be back. I got to wipe some of this stuff off. It could be. So my guess is just as good as yours. We don't know yet. We kind of have an idea. Let me tell you how it works. This, the missions that we're part of, they have been active for 75 years. I don't know if some of you know who Stonecroft is. Stonecroft was also a women's organization and a ministry. And Stonecroft also was part of this missions team that we're working for, that we're leaving. Okay? So what they've done for 75 years, they send out their pastors to the mission field here in America. So there are pastors that go to the mission field while they are here. Before, many years ago, they would get the pastors ready, say, here, this is where you're going. And a lot of times the pastors would just drive to where they were going. They didn't know where they were going. They would just be ready, and they would leave. And they knew where they were going when they got there. Now they could be out in we could be in a very secluded area. We can end up going to a very secluded area where we only go out shopping once a month because it's that far. Or we can end up being more like in a suburb. Kind of. It's a rural area, not really the suburbs. But I mean more of like where they have 2 or 3 houses or something like that. Not as far out. So we could be wherever it is God chooses for us to be. That's where we're going. And we'll know. They'll let us know in a couple of weeks. We will know, and I'll let you know what state we're going to. I won't say exactly where we're going to be, but I'll tell you the state that we're going to be at. So this is by faith. When you're in the mission field, and you might say, mission field, is a mission field just going to like another country, like outside of the United States, overseas? No, the mission field is here in the United States. There are many places right now that don't have, that their church doors are closing, that they're in a rural area and there's no church within 30 miles. That's basically what this ministry does. They don't go to the Bible belts where there's a lot of churches within the community. They go where there's only one church and there's no churches within miles. And if that church doesn't stay open, people will not go to church. They'll end up staying home. So we are part of that missions group, and my husband will be pastoring full-time a church. That's what we're going to be doing. I will We will be pastoring. I say my husband because he's the pastor. That's why I say that. But I am his wife, so it'll be both of us. But me going into the mission field is to basically to support my husband too, to be there for him, but also to be part of the church and to help, whether it's with the children's ministry, women's ministry, wherever God is going to place us, that's where we're going to go. And I am happy. I am very happy. But at the same time, it's like with anything, it takes faith. It takes faith to say, okay, Lord, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to do what you've called me to do. It takes faith. I think I should leave the cotton balls out. Yeah, those, you just never know. Got some toothbrushes. Extra ones. Take with us. More toothpaste. That's one thing. Soap and toothpaste. We can't complain about being clean. My mom used to say, you don't have to be rich to be clean. So anyway, it's just important. It's important to what we're doing. It's very important to us. It's a leap of faith. Some taller boat. It's a leap of faith. But I am very excited. So is my husband. We're excited for whatever God has for us. Wherever we're going to go. It's in His perfect timing to trust Him. Well, we have a lot of those little soaps, but don't need them. That's usually when I go to women's conferences or something like that. Or my husband goes to the men's conference. We always bring back these little soaps from the room. He's called us to obey. He's called us to love Him and live for Him. And to be able to go into another church and to be able to help the people in that community is truly a blessing from the Lord. It really, really is. So I thank God. I thank God for His calling on our lives. Now we will be living in a parsonage. That's where we're going to be living. I have a whole box. I taped all the sprays and stuff. I taped the little nozzles down and everything just in case. Not saying anything will spill out, but you just never know. So I like these stick towels because I placed them in the boxes on top. I was going to get rid of those. Some of these towels, we've had them for a long time and they're old. And I was going to go on ahead and get rid of them. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that because I could use them for like glass things to cover them up and put them away. So I could use them to wrap up like glass plates and stuff like that. So I'm going to go on ahead and tape this. And one thing we love here in our home, I don't know about you. Do you like leftovers? We love leftovers. Last night, what did I make? I made a whole pot of chili. And then I made a separate pot with rice and we had rolls. That's what we had last night for dinner. And I had leftover chili for the rest of the week. And my husband loved it. And then I had a pork sirloin left over from a meal that I cooked. So what I did was I sliced that up and I put that away for another meal with baked beans. Simple things like that is so important to have those leftovers, even if it's macaroni and cheese. Where like, I think what happens is a lot too, which I have seen this working with kids. I have. Parents taking their kids every night to McDonald's. Bad idea. I'm not like, I can't tell people what to do with their money. That's not what I'm trying to say here. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to speak from kind of experience. I know there's other people that have a lot more experience than me. They're a lot wiser. They've been around a lot longer. They don't need me to tell them how to live. So that's not what I'm trying to do. But I'm telling you what I see, my opinion. I see that there are people that take their children to McDonald's every time they want McDonald's. For one, it's not healthy. I know because I love McDonald's. But it's not that healthy. You gain weight pretty fast from eating a lot of fast food. I know because I do that. Not all the time, but I do. So I eat fast food and then I'm like, oh, I don't feel that good. Why did I eat that? you know? So I think it's better to buy macaroni and cheese, buy some boxes of pasta, some hot dogs, and make your own macaroni and cheese. And it's a lot healthier. Crock pot foods. You know, there's all these different channels, you know, like Strawberry Homestead, Homestead Tessie. Who else? There's a lot of channels out there. And of course, when I'm mentioning them, I can't think of the names. But there's a lot of channels that I watch. There's Blueberry Farm Homestead. You know, a lot of channels where they cook, and including mine, they cook simple foods, but I don't always show me cooking, but they cook a lot of crock pot foods. They teach you how to cook simple. And I always think those channels are there to teach us. Not that we don't know, we're not smart or we can't figure it out. Of course, we have a mind to think and figure out things, but I think those channels are great because you know what? They make you think like, oh, that's right. I don't have to go fast food every day. I got some stuff. Let me do a pantry challenge. I have stuff in my pantry already. Let me just use what I have in my freezer. Open up your freezer. I bet you have stuff in there you could just throw in a pot and make a good soup. And soup lasts for a long time. All you got to do is add water to it and it'll last you a long time. Okay, let me try to lift this box. Okay, now I have to write on it. I have to write bathroom. My husband told me don't forget to write on it. So I got to write bathroom. Toiletries. Bathroom. Okay. Look at that. I got these boxes packed talking to you on the computer. Isn't that great? Here we go. Here's another box. This is another one. I have a lot of stuff to donate. Some I'm going to throw out because some is expired and I don't want to donate expired stuff because they're going to throw it out anyway and I think it's kind of rude. So I don't want to donate expired things. So, I think this one could have a little bit more. I can fill this one up a little bit more. You know what I can put in here? I have my baskets. I have these. That's going to garbage. That's going to the garbage. Fill those out. I have these little bags that we can use. I know I'm getting out the camera. I'm sorry. But I have these, but I would tell you this. Even if we didn't leave and we didn't move, it feels great to declutter. It does. Like, why do we have to wait till we move to do this? Because it's like such a task. And I don't want to go under the cabinets and start digging stuff up. I still have the kitchen to do. I've got to take everything out of the kitchen cabinets, the laundry room cabinets, get rid of the stuff we don't want, donate it, throw it away. And, but you know what? God is being my strength. He's helping me with all of this. And that's what matters. Okay, that is good. But I do want to keep my containers. I want to use those. Okay, I don't know if that's going to fit. This big one. Is this going to fit? Okay, that's better. Nope. I have to take this one out. Okay. Okay, I put the two white ones in here. I have this green one. And I am just going to take this box. So, by the way, I have been working out. I am working out. I've been doing my walking. And it feels good. I've been sleeping a lot better at night. I have. Since I've been starting my workouts. So I am walking to my friends that are walking with me. on here. They know who they are. I don't want to say their names because they might not want me mentioning their names on here. So I try to be respectful of that. But if you don't mind me mentioning your name, I will. But I have some of the best subscribers. I just got to say that. And I am not trying to gloat or put anybody on a pedestal, because I know we're all human. We get offended. We offend one another. But I think when we get offended, we don't change. I know. I used to get offended all the time. I did. God has worked in my life big time. But I used to always get offended. And offended at this and offended at that. And God just taught me, Lisette, how will you change if you continuously are offended? And there will be people that will offend us. You see, God didn't say that there wouldn't be people that would not offend us. He tells us there will be people. Let me find the marker. Okay. He tells us there will be people that will offend us. There will be people that will. That's just part of life, but we have to learn to allow God to give us self-control. I tell you. Because sometimes that can be hard. But I have great subscribers. They're encouraging. And they encourage me. I think I've learned from some of the older ladies on my channel too. Now, some of them, I don't know how old they are. But some, I know because they're retired. They're married. They've been married for years. They have grown-up kids, children. And what they share with me, I can tell. So I thank God for my subscribers and for who they are. And He's brought some terrific women to this channel. Just being real, laying on real. Okay, let me put this up. See, my husband told me not to cut these sides because they tear, but it's easy for me to lift the boxes like that. So, now I'm going to say bye because now I have to go in the bathroom and I'm going to spray in the cabinets and wipe them down. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm not going to video that because, you know, you all know what that is. And then I have to organize the camera and make sure it's in the right position so you can see me cleaning the cabinets. So God bless all of you. I love you all. I'll talk to you all next time. Bye.